CEO of an African venture company that partners with select early-stage African startups who are aiming to contribute positively to the achievement of sustainable development goals on the continent through technology and innovation, and she's also the founder and lead researcher at Tech for Good Lab at UCT. She is also the senior lecturer and researcher in the Department of Information Systems in the School of IT and Commerce faculty at UCT, where she has been teaching and conducting research since 2012. And she is currently pursuing her PhD in neuropsychology.
Good morning, everyone. It's such a pleasure to be with you today. It's so strange for me to be doing this virtually because last year we were actually on our beautiful campus, on Upper Campus in Rondebosch. But nonetheless, it's wonderful that we're going ahead with this fantastic competition. And I wish all of you the very, very best of luck. And I'm super excited to see the amazing things that you've been working on. So Janine asked me if I would do a small keynote for us today. And it really is an honor for me to be able to share some thoughts with you about the role of entrepreneurship in South Africa. And I thought I'd like to speak about something that's practical in terms of 5 ways that we can build our South African entrepreneurship ecosystem in this new economy. Some of what I am going to speak about is actually taken from Dr. Becky Mfeka's work, who is a previous policy advisor on economics to the presidency. So as we continue to roll up our sleeves and contribute to the new economy proposed by President Ramaphosa, we must ponder what the role of South African entrepreneurship is. Entrepreneurship should be the main engine that drives growth and supersedes politics in the economy. The Global Entrepreneurship Monitor, also known as GEM, states that many of the world's governments, think tanks, non-governmental and international organizations now look towards entrepreneurship as a key part of the solution to ending poverty and social inequity, promoting women's empowerment, and implementing business solutions to the world's environmental challenges, including climate change, just as one example of many. In South Africa, since apartheid days, to democracy politics has intruded deeply into our economy, such that people confuse it with the role of government or state in the economy. Okay? Recently, politics has given birth to notions of what we call tenderpreneurship in the South African lexicon, a pseudonym for the tender corruption, something the noble gift of entrepreneurship is far from. As a point of departure, we need to also look at the origin of the word entrepreneurship. I'm not sure how many people actually have gone and looked where does the word come from? So the word actually originates from the early 19th century, and it's a combination of French and English. It comes from the French word entreprendre, which means to undertake, and the English word meaning enterprise. An entrepreneur is an individual who creates a new business, bearing most of the risks and enjoying most of the profits too. The entrepreneur is commonly seen as an innovator, a source of new ideas, goods, services, and business. Entrepreneurs are, though, a rare breed. They play a key role in any economy, using the skills and initiative necessary to anticipate needs and the risks of to anticipate needs, and they bring good ideas to markets. Entrepreneurs who prove to be successful in taking on the risks of a startup are rewarded with profits ultimately, and fame even in some cases, if that is what they're looking for, and also continued growth opportunity. In the process, they capture customers and generate value and returns for investors, improve lives, and generate employment for people. I have seen a lot of innovation and ideas in South Africa, but I do find that there is still too few entrepreneurs in general, and that's why a competition like this is really exciting, to try and also encourage more people to become entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurship also knows no boundaries of race, class, and geographical location. Okay, how many people know these global South African entrepreneurs and many unsung heroes who are shaping the future? We need to make them more famous to inspire young people and the rest of the nation. And that's why competitions like this are really important. I am aware of many organizations who are doing a fantastic job in terms of profiling and promoting entrepreneurs. And I can certainly say that Janine Basil from Accra Capital is one of those people and one of those organizations, and Janine herself being an entrepreneur, of course. We must also remember that on several occasions, our president has mentioned entrepreneurship as a key way to reviving our economic fortunes, and in fact has actually advocated for its teaching in schools from an early stage. So what I thought I would leave you with is just 5 ways in which we can help to build the entrepreneurship ecosystem in South Africa. Firstly, and this is more of an esoteric point, we must value South African entrepreneurs of all races, cultures, and set them apart from the other ordinary business people. Secondly, government and financial institutions should identify and fund entrepreneurs with as much flexibility to risk aversion, where we know that historically in South Africa, institutions are renowned for being risk averse. Thirdly, give emerging South African entrepreneurs exposure. Growing up, I learned early that nothing is as important as traveling and knowledge sharing. Fourthly, provide basic courses and mentorship on entrepreneurships in all schools and tertiary levels of education. And finally, and probably also most importantly, is reward successful South African entrepreneurs. And that means let us celebrate their successes. Thank you. That is it from my side. Good luck, everyone.
Thank you so much, Dr. Sumarie. I think right now we will just get into the pitches as they have been introduced, and the pitches do know the order of them pitching, so I think we'll just get into it. We're going to ask Aaron to keep time for the pitches, and I will keep time for the judges' questions.
Before we start that, sorry to interrupt there, please feel free as people, as spectators supporting the startups, to comment through the chat. Give some feedback and advice. We'll save the chat and send it on to everybody. And obviously we're here to be supportive. So good luck to all the people pitching. You, Lebogang and Odwa, you should all have co-hosting now, right? So you're all good. Okay. Okay, over to you, Aaron.
Okay, so guys, as we know, it's 3 minutes for the pitch and then 2 minutes for judges' questions. So unfortunately, if you do go over time, I will have to cut you short. I'm sorry, but those are the rules. I think Sahil from Edify, you can start setting up and sharing your screen, and then you'll let us know as soon as you're ready.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, great. Okay. 1 million learners sit for the National Senior Certificate exam every year, and by the end of this pitch, you'll see why all of them will need this app. In our current education system, the amount of time spent teaching any single topic is fixed, but the time taken for each student to understand it is variable. Another dominating issue with the structure of our current education system is that it's tremendously easy to see a decrease in students' levels of motivation, especially when the quality and quantity of resources available to them is so limited. These problems with the current education system are all exacerbated by the lack of government expenditure on education. We've seen drastic technological improvements in all sectors of the economy, but the public education system seems to be the same as it always was. This seems like it should have been an obvious next step. To focus on those learners who are struggling to grasp concepts, you need more teachers and fewer learners, and our country just does not have the means to make that happen. So we need a solution independent of government expenditure on education. Our mission comes to fruition through a compact, user-friendly mobile and web app with the largest bank of national and provincial past papers in the country, together with high-yield summaries written by my co-founder, which we both used in matric. I lost my life sciences textbook and I solely used Zaid's notes and ended up with a high A. We offer a personalized dashboard to match individual needs and ensure only the resources you need are displayed, which also includes bursary options and motivational encouragement. We plan on rewarding users simply for learning more by mining cryptocurrency while using the app. This is unique to our use case, as exam papers take hours to complete. We also want to catalyze the introduction of tablets into the public education system by providing a centralized e-learning environment. Currently, we have employed a freemium business model with Google ad revenue and an option to pay to remove ads. Most tech startups require high initial capital investment with low operation costs. However, since the app has been developed by ourselves, we get the best of both worlds. We have significantly reduced the need for large capital investment while maintaining low operation costs, which affords us increasing returns to scale. We definitely have an economic moat. At Edify, we know that being passionate about e-learning is the driving force we need to deliver these solutions. Zayda and I have been close friends from the age of 12. Together, we spent years contemplating the struggles and needs of learners in the current public education system as we went through it ourselves. My background in IT has enabled me to develop and attend to any technical problems in the app, and being an Axi student gives me the ability to interpret and apply key business concepts in our startup. Zaid has created the study guides and takes the responsibility of continuously updating it and creating resources for the app. When we were in school, we would have loved to be able to use what we are creating now. It's clear that we have a vision and drive to make this effect come true. It's an overdue digital transformation. South Africa is in the hands of the youth. Are you willing to help us help them? Okay, thanks.
Okay, judges' questions can start now.
This is Anton here. I've got a question, or maybe two. How far are you with the development of this app? And then the second question is, you're saying that you intend to reward students with cryptocurrency for using the app. How do you intend to fund that?
Okay, great. I'll answer the first question. I'll answer the second question first, if you don't mind. Electronium is a cryptocurrency that's optimized to be mined on mobile devices. According to their website, you can make $30 a month from mining. And we predict that if a student does one paper every day for a year, they can make up over 500 rands. This is, of course, subject to market volatility. And due to time constraints, I'll be happy to discuss this further later. With the current development of the app, we already have implemented past papers in the app. We already have options to view bursaries, motivational encouragement, things like that. We have the personalized dashboard done already. Thanks.
Any other questions? Thank you, Sahil and Zara. Are there no more questions? Eh? Please feel free.
Can I ask one more? Is it possible?
Go ahead, sorry, go ahead.
Is there a specific ask? What would you require in terms of assistance to take your project further?
Okay, so scalability, we would need access to more servers as we grow larger. That's, I think, the largest cost. And then there's some minor things such as getting in touch with companies, perhaps to see if they want to list their bursaries on the site and stuff like that. If I can continue, we'd also love to help kids in the lower quintile schools get more access to technology. And if we can reduce the cost for them to do so, that would be a wonderful thing. Thanks.
Thank you. Thanks for that answer, Sahil. Well done to the two of you. And yeah, I can see it was a little bit nerve-wracking.
Yeah.
Great job. Well done. Aaron?
Okay. So now we can move to Sahil from Tipper. Please start setting up and sharing screen.
Morning. I'll be pitching for me and Sahil today. Let me just set up my screen. And then as I'm setting up, so just to make that clear, I'm Petrus Tipper and my partner is Sahil Rajnarayan and our startup is Tipper. So let me just quickly get this on full screen. Just let me know. Okay. Do you guys see that perfectly? Okay, I'm ready whenever.
Yeah, you can go ahead.
Our startup, Tipper, makes it easy for consumers to reward good service in a discreet, contactless way. It facilitates generosity without the necessity of carrying cash, and it has particular application in the informal sector. I know that when I put petrol in my car and get good service from the attendant, I like to be able to tip him. The other day, I found that I didn't have any cash to tip Simon, who works at my regular petrol stop. I felt terrible, planned to go back to tip him, and of course, didn't end up doing that. If I had just had Tipper, this situation could be avoided. Tipper is a QR code-based tipping app that allows users to give and receive tips without cash or breaching social distancing policies. Users simply open the Tipper app, scan the digital or physical QR code a service provider presents, select the amount they want to give, then tip. Tipper includes a star-based rating system, which would allow service providers to compete on a countrywide leaderboard. If users forget their phones, they can still tip and review service providers later by searching for their name and area. SnapScan and Zapper are strictly used in the formal sector to replace cash transactions in businesses. Tipper targets the South African informal sector by being available in the 11 official languages and using minimal data. Ukeshe, our only competitor in this sector, requires a physical QR code. Tipper can use digital QR codes and is geared for businesses to track employee performance. But how do we make money and why should you invest? Tipper's business model is scalable without stealing from the poor. We anticipate to charge a 5% transaction fee on tips above 10 Rand and a tiered subscription fee per month for employers to track employee data. The user market size is considerable as 22 million South Africans use smartphones. We plan to partner with a petrol station such as Engine and initially target the 80,000 petrol attendants in South Africa. This market segment is controlled and allows for testing and iteration, with the hope of expanding into the car guarding and restaurant industries. We are definitely equipped to take this forward, as we are both Alan Gray Orbis Foundation candidate fellows, with access to a network of experienced entrepreneurs and funding. I'm an engineering student and I have a lot of experience with marketing and sales. My partner Sahil is an actuarial student and has worked with fintech startups closely before. We are the UCT Startup Grind Pitch Slam champions and have raised 20,000 Rand so far. A cashless society is here to stay. As 78% of South Africans say, they will continue to use contactless payments post-pandemic. South Africa's most vulnerable need to adapt, and our star rating system bolsters employee CVs and can create social impact. Invest in Tipper today.
Okay, judges' questions can start now.
Hi, sorry, it's Sumarie. Thank you for that excellent presentation. I think it's a fantastic innovation.
Thanks.
So well done. It's long overdue, and I can absolutely see huge potential in terms of also expanding beyond, the car guard industry and then also the restaurant industry. Petrus, just a quick question. I just want to try and understand why the business model when it relates to employers being able to view employees' data. What data is it typically that I would then be looking at?
Okay, so some of the most important data that we can sort of give to businesses is the tiered subscription is for size of businesses, but let's talk about a massive corporation like Engine now. So for them now you can see which of your petrol attendants in the whole country is the best. Okay, so you can immediately see all your employees' ratings. You can see customer satisfaction at your different petrol station. So if you see that your petrol station in George is going down, you can say, okay, it's because the petrol attendants are getting low ratings. Then you get things like customer retention, and all of these data coming through. Just for time purposes to, I can speak more about it if you want to, but I just want to get to the other questions. But does that answer the question?
Yeah, a little bit. It's just that I'm trying to understand. So the core, what is the core business? The core business model, though, is about enabling us to tip contactless, basically, and cashless, right?
Yeah.
Okay, because the employer being able to access that type of data, I don't see that as a core part of the offering, but it's an interesting thing that you are providing. But I'll let the other judges also have questions. Thanks so much.
Yes, Anton, I'm ready.
I've got one question. So first of all, I really like the idea. I love tipping, or at the robots handing out coins here and there. I just have one big concern, and that is ultimately you're fighting for space on the smartphone home screen, right? So I don't, as much as I love your offering, I don't see myself downloading an app specifically for the one purpose, which is tipping. Okay. Have you got a way around that, like maybe integrating the tipping process directly into the payment process when I am paying for my petrol at the garage? Or
okay, so the one.
Sorry, it's time. I think maybe you can answer the question. I'm sorry.
Okay, can I answer it quickly, please? Yeah. Okay, thanks. So the one way we thought of going around that is by creating a good web platform on your browser. Most phones these days, or almost all smartphones, can scan a QR code directly through the camera. So if you just double tap your power button, your camera pops up. So if you don't want to download the app, then you can still get the basic, like the minimum viable features of the app just by opening your camera and taking a photo of your QR code. And we believe that makes it a lot faster and easier, and that would get a lot more people to use it. Sorry, I had to answer it so shortly, but yeah, thanks.
Well, if the judges have any more questions, you can shoot along. I think the major time constraint is for the contestants, so I think we can extend the judges' time for a little bit. So, Anton, if you have any more questions, you can go ahead. If the judges have any more questions, you can go ahead.
Peter.
If not, we can move along.
Thanks, Petrus. It's something I thought of as well, like during lockdown. I think the biggest challenge that I would see is from a competition side, your Zapper and SnapScan, as soon as they go, that's a great idea. They've already got tipping built in from a Zapper side for waiters or for when you're purchasing. So they're a lot further ahead, and they've got a lot larger client base. F&B's also rolled out QR code-based payments for Engine. So I think the competition is incredibly high, and the offering's a bit light in my mind. How do you see yourself? I know you say, you know, that competition for those guys isn't there, but I think you're missing that they're incredibly large corporations with a big base of developers, and they'd be able to knock you out relatively easily if they see a route to market for their product and for yours.
Okay, so I think it is definitely real, the competition. I mean, there's no way that we can just look around it. I think what we offer that's really a massive differentiating feature is the rating system. If you look at something like Uber or Airbnb, the rating system has really brought out a lot more. It certainly incentivizes a higher quality of customer service, because now for something like SnapScan, yes, you can just pay, but you can pay them, but it's also not as person to person. So I think the person to person payment and the rating system, where you're working for more than just a monetary tip, I think that's massive. Then also just the size of us, it's much easier to adapt. We're quite lean, like a lean startup, where some of these massive corporations like an F&B, they're like a big ship in the ocean, and we like a speedboat. I think we can, it's hard for them to adapt as fast. But I mean, the competition is definitely real, but I think we've got some differentiating features that really changes it up. And then also there was some articles now coming out through lockdown of a lot of restaurants actually taking the tips. If you pay through Zapper or your card or anything and you just add it to the bill, they were actually taking a big part of the waiters' tips, where if you pay with us, you make sure that it's going directly to the account of the service provider. So it's not going through the company. They get the data, but the money goes directly and instantly towards the service provider.
Cool, thanks.
And then can I quickly address Catherine Panel's question in the comments, or if there's no time, it's fine. I completely understand.
I think what you can do is whilst the other people are pitching, you can answer on the chat.
Oh, in the chat. Okay, thanks a lot. Okay, cheers. Thanks guys for all the questions.
Thank you. Fazega, you can start setting up from Reverb.
All right. Okay. Here we go. I am Fazega Nzama, and my startup is Reverb. When COVID-19 hit, a producer friend of mine hit me up looking to sell all of his studio equipment because after seeing his mother be retrenched, his dream of making music for a living felt like a luxury he simply couldn't afford anymore. The truth is, many South African songwriters and producers are sitting on work that they struggle to sell because they're limited to a market consisting only of the artists they know personally. And when they do make sales, they may struggle to get remunerated for months. Similarly, vocalists and rappers are limited by having access to a small pool of producers and songwriters. Enter Reverb, an online marketplace where songwriters and producers can sell their work to anyone, anywhere in the world, and be paid instantly. An estimated 3 million songs come out of Africa on Spotify annually. This translates to a rough estimate of about 1.5 billion rand in beats sold. Thus, our target market is made up of two parts: the producer side, which consists of independent songwriters and producers aged 16 to 26 looking to sell their work online, as well as the buyer side, consisting of independent artists in the early stages of their careers, aged 16 to 26, who are looking for affordable, unique, quality beats, as well as record labels, managing a host of established artists looking to reduce costs by accessing high quality, inexpensive beats. Our revenue streams would consist of taking a 20 to 30% commission from every beat sale on our platform, charging record labels a monthly fee to access a curated collection of our highest quality beats, selling ad space for music-related services on our platform, and offering a premium subscription offer for our songwriters and producers, allowing them to set up a business page where they can sell merch, their services, or their beats and songs, and keep 100% of their profits. Our main competitor at present moment is USA-based BeatStars. However, we would differentiate ourselves from BeatStars by incentivizing and prioritizing African sounds and artists, selling beats in rands, thus making them cheaper for artists on the African continent, selling beats to record labels directly as well as to independent artists, and allowing producers and songwriters to set their own prices for their work. In order to go to market, we'll make use of social media extensively, as well as building partnerships with art schools and university students to unearth contributors, and will form partnerships with record labels in order to cultivate sales. Our route to market requires us to start building the platform, get the relevant licensing, start building a catalog of beats, and begin to build a social media presence as well. At present moment, the team consists only of me. However, as a computer science major, music-loving human being, and Alan Gray Orbis candidate fellow, I have knowledge of the tech space as well as access to a network of resources as well as entrepreneurs. However, I am looking to bring on another developer as well as a social media and marketing maestro. With that said, to take my vision out of the dream stage, I am in need of resources, mainly mentorship, financing, and that 0-1 marketing package. To conclude, the global music industry is massive and draws inspiration from this continent all the time. It's time we got a bigger slice of that pie. And I believe that Reverb is the first step to making that happen. Thank you.
Judges' questions can start now.
Fazega, fantastic presentation. Thank you. How very interesting, I must say. And, you know, the African, as you'd know, no doubt, based on your research, the African music industry is one of the biggest or fastest growing music industries in the world. So I certainly think that you are on par in terms of, you know, what is busy trending also in the industry itself. I just have two questions for you. I just wanted to firstly find out, how did you determine why specifically 16 to 26 years old?
Well, I am looking at like independent producers and musicians, and I find that a lot of people start making their music early in their teen years when they have a lot of time, and all the way to about 26 when they still have that support base of either being in university and being able to work on music on the side, as well as something else, as well as having the support base of just their family funding their lives for a while. And so I chose that specific age group because there is more of an like focus on music when you're at that age.
Okay, the only thing I'd say there is just be mindful of the fact that 16 is still not of legal age. So if you are doing transactions, please be careful with that. Okay. Then secondly, I just wanted to say your commission sounds very high. 20 to 30%. Can you please just explain to me how you determined that? And 20% as opposed to 30%, those are two very different numbers. Mm-hmm. So can you just talk me through that, please?
Okay. So I did draw a little bit of inspiration from my competitor side. They do charge a similar sort of interest rates. I also just took in mind how much money that producers usually will charge for beats at present moment. The ones I have access to. When you talk about the higher end, people are charging thousands of rands for beats. On the lower income end, it'll be anywhere between 500 and 1,000 rand from the producers that I've interacted with. And I guess my 20 to 30% is just looking at my own personal, the expenses of the business that I anticipate to come from this project. And with that said, I am willing to kind of look at that commission rate a little bit. My original commission was set at about 10%, but I thought, you know, just to be on the safe side. However, that's something that I'm really willing to still play with.
Yeah, it's, you know, it goes to that thing that we all know, just because you can doesn't mean you should. Okay. So, but thank you very much. That was excellent.
Fazeka, out of interest, Anton, go ahead.
Oh, Peter, after you.
Thanks. Fazeka, great. I mean, I've got a few people, composers, and I know they really struggle in the market to actually get their work out there. So I definitely think there's a need for it. I see your competition also is quite large right now. They've been around since 2008. So they got about 1 million followers on Instagram, I think. You mentioned you still need to build the platform. So it's still very early stage from my understanding. It's just an idea right now. How long do you think it's going to take for you to actually build your platform and start generating revenue? Okay.
In terms of building the platform, I'm not too worried about that. I think anywhere between about 6 months to build the platform. I think our biggest challenge will definitely be creating a buzz that's big enough to draw enough contributors to the page for there really to be a massive incentive for musicians to get on there. And which is why one of the reasons I really want to bring on a social media and marketing maestro. I'm looking for someone to help me really spread the word quickly and really quickly. So building the platform, less than 6 months, building a real presence in the space. I am thinking a year to about 1.5 years. But also that would happen simultaneously in my view. I would simultaneously be building that social media presence, be attracting those contributors at the same time as the platform itself is being built. With that said, I know that my competitor is massive, which is why I'm kind of focusing on Africa in particular. I think in general, my competitor has ignored the African markets. And so my thought process is focus on Africa, really get the support on this continent, and then branch out from there.
Perfect. Thanks a lot. Anton, your turn.
Yeah, Fazeka, great, thank you. I've got one question, and maybe it's not quite clear to me. It's how you define the market. I used to produce some techno music years ago, and I sold it on Beatport internationally. So I'm asking, is there a real need for a specific platform for African type music, or how are you going to compete against larger platforms that offer all kinds of different music? Yeah, I think that's how you define the market.
Okay, so
You can say
I imagine the
monopolist for a certain market segment, but actually, I think maybe the way you define the market is too narrow. You're actually competing against a much bigger picture.
So I personally, I imagine the platform to not only be housing African music, but I do want to prioritize African music. So I'm very much open to the idea of housing all sorts of urban music, but with the focus on African music, just because the trends that I've seen around at present moment show that there is a shift towards African sounds, and there's definitely an interest towards African sounds. So I want to have a platform where if you're looking to shift your sound, you can go here to access that and know that this is a platform that has a lot of that. In terms of the competitive landscape and my market in total, Beatport I've never heard of. I think maybe they've kind of pitted out of the market. BeatStars is basically the only player in the space that looks exactly the way my idea kind of looks. That's very similar to my idea. I think the only other alternatives really are YouTube, and that has its own issues, and then really just engaging with the people you're selling to on a personal level. So yeah, there's a prioritizing of African sounds. However, we would be housing all sorts of sounds.
Thanks.
Okay, I think if judges' questions are done, Fezeka, thank you for your pitch. Please do provide your contact details in the chat as they were asked for. However, to all the judges, we will present everyone's contact details, all the participants' contact details, should you wish to contact them after the event as well. So that will be made public to everyone. And then Daniel from Delega, you can start setting up your pitch.
Good morning, everyone. My name's Daniel from Delega. Let me just get this side set up. Perfect. Is my screen visible?
Yeah.
All right, perfect. There are thousands of businesses being left behind. Each and every one of them are struggling to transition away from an old school method of business to the digital age. Not only them, but some new business owners lack the technical and strategic capabilities to truly create a business worthy of the times we are living in. Doing some market research, I found that 50% of all startups in South Africa fail within 24 months, with the majority having no online presence at all. They start their business as a survivalist venture, but it fails because the owners do not have the skills, experience, or resources needed to build a sustainable business in a volatile environment. Modern day problems require modern day solutions. In the short term, we want to create a website that will launch and legitimize their business into the social media era. Over the long term, we want to modernize their business by using tools that unlock the most amount of value for their business. For example, with our consulting, we doubled a line dancing school's revenue to 12,000 Rand per month. Our ideal client is someone who lacks the time or technical expertise to design and maintain a website. They also need guidance that offers modern tools and solutions to grow their business. But most importantly, they want support from a company that truly has their best interests at heart. Our core solution is website design. As our client's business grows, we will grow with them and offer our other services such as strategy implementation, business consulting, and data analytics. We have everything a small business owner would need without costing an arm and a leg. We stand out from our many competitors because of the relationship we offer to support businesses with our integrated website design and consulting. We really care about our clients' business and their future. Our pricing relative to our competitors is in the medium range. This allows us to offer more affordable services without compromising on quality. Here are 4 clients and a screenshot of their website we developed. Our business model has a long-term view in mind, with our focus on a monthly recurring income. Our upfront fee is manageable and full of value and perks any serious startup should have. In the past 2 months, we have made sales of around 10,000 Rand with a recurring monthly revenue of 990. Our team is incredible and cares deeply about small business. My name is Daniel. I'm the founder of Delega, in charge of website design, consulting, and marketing. Leandra assists me with the business side. Q and Kuda manage our clients by building relationships and chasing leads. We need support with our infrastructure, including hardware and licenses. We need to capture more of the market. And lastly, we can always do with some great advice. Thank you so much, Sharks.
Judges' questions can start now.
Great. Thanks, Daniel. Great presentation, and you're very lucky that you already have such a great team. I just want to delve a little bit into the competition. So you are entering, well, not even entering, I mean, you're operating in a highly competitive market. And I'm just struggling to understand, what is it that makes Delega so unique? Why wouldn't I, for example, go with any of the many other offerings that there are on the market?
That's a wonderful question. Thank you. I think the main point of what we want to bring across is that it's not about our range of capabilities and abilities, because you can get that anywhere. It's really about the relationship we offer with our clients. So when we partner with them, it really is about long-term vision of actually being with them. And that's why we find with our clients, we actually tend to offer more than what they're paying us for, because of that deep interest we have in their business and the connections we make and the support we offer. So the competitors are there, and there are many of them, but I think our main goal here is to actually have the heart in the business and really go much more than what they would expect.
Okay, I think you may just have some challenges if you want to scale hard, if that makes sense. So I think you just need to consider, what is it really that is your key differentiator here? I know you're saying it's this, how your relationship with your clients, but I think to truly scale globally, you're going to need more than that. But great presentation. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Doctor.
Daniel, thanks a lot for the presentation. It was great. And we work with a lot of digital marketing clients. So we know currently there's a big need for more people helping in that space. In terms of sustainability going forward, your pricing model seems a bit light. Your pricing is very cheap compared to your competitors, and I'm not sure how you're going to be able to scale on that pricing model. If you're going to start hiring people, I think you're going to fall short. And relationships are great, but you're going to have to start increasing your pricing, which people aren't going to be happy with. So my concern is your pricing is a bit too low. We build relationships with our clients. We charge more because of that, not less. So my concern is your pricing. What is your thoughts around that?
That's a wonderful question. Thank you, Peter. Our pricing was very deliberate, using some management accounting principles I have, and it's to target a specific market that is really not being targeted at the moment. And what we've done compared to our competitors is that we've found a really low-cost way that is very scalable to create websites, which is actually very profitable for us compared to traditional website solutions. So we found a way to really create a low cost and low maintenance way of building websites and developing that, which allows us to spend more time in that relationship side, where we can start to offer our other products, which are much more profitable, may I say, at a larger scale.
Thanks, Danny.
Thanks, Peter.
If the judges' questions are done, thank you very much, Daniel. Leohan, can you please start setting up from Zabantu Creatives?
Hey guys, sorry, let me just quickly, can you guys see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Good morning, can I start? Aaron.
Yes, you can. I think maybe try put your slides on full screen mode. Your PowerPoint slide on slideshow, I mean.
Is this fine?
Okay, yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Good morning. My name is Lebon Kopodi. I am the CFO and co-founder of Zabantu Creatives. The African fashion industry is currently worth $15 billion and is estimated to be worth $20.7 billion by the end of 2022. Just before the COVID-19 pandemic, over a year and a half ago, I met a lady at Green Market Square called Amy, who is one of the 64 African fashion designers who sell high African fashion accessories, ornamentals, and apparels to non-tourists mainly. Amy's brand is one of the over 2 million small African fashion businesses. Now, not only do your products share an African narrative and inspire an African heritage, but they means to how these designers provide for their families. Amy and over 1 million more African designers are struggling to create lucrative businesses beyond their local fashion week and tourist visits, or during a season that we are currently in, being subjected to a lockdown. Our African designers are faced with overproductions, low sales due to low market penetration outside of Africa. And this has created a large gap for direct access of African creativity by the international world. And this has presented an opportunity for an e-commerce company. Hence, Zabantu, an e-commerce company, has availed itself to take advantage of the fast-growing online space and to showcase and create awareness of the African fashion industry, and do so sustainably. Our company is a B2B and a B2C company. We have two customers, but the first one being all our African designers who sell high quality African fashion apparels, and our second one being a young international fashion conscious customer whose ideals resonate with our ethos of promoting the African retail industry sustainably. Zabantu has partnered with RMX as our distribution partner. An order goes through our platform and we immediately and automatically inform our suppliers, and then they package the order and deliver and have our RMX delivery partner come pick it up. We do not keep any stock. Zabantu makes money through commission earnings. We take 10% of every successful on the platform, on the website sale, and 15% of every successful sale we make during our Zabantu pop-up markets and our Zabantu fashion events. With competitors like OnCheck, Zuva, Culture Store, we are unique in that we incorporate both the production of African print apparels as well as trendy Western designs. Zabantu is beyond a marketplace. It is an African ecosystem of sustainability, growth, and proud. And from our humble student beginnings, we have over 100 suppliers, as well as a B2C customer audience of over 3,000 viewers across our platform, website, and our social media platform. Thank you.
Hi, Lebachang. Thank you very much for that awesome presentation. And it's so wonderful to see entrepreneurs showcase and, you know, the beautiful work that happens on this continent. You know, earlier we also heard about the music industry, and it's now really wonderful to also see promotion of the fashion industry here in Africa. I just wanted to check with something with you in terms of where we currently are economically. So what we've seen though is that spend on these types of products has drastically gone down because of where the global economy is. How are you planning on dealing with that?
Sorry, please go. Yes, you're right. So spending, even our own sales have gone down due to the fact that people don't have as much confidence in foreign products. And what we're currently doing and plan to do forward is basically going on our social media platforms and on our website, educating our customers about what's going on, and also ensuring them that we're actually taking measures to ensure that the products that they're getting are actually have actually been well taken care of and would not affect them in any how. So currently we're in the production of some content. So our platform is not only based on what we sell, but also the content that we produce. So currently we're in the production of content, which we will be using to communicate to our foreign market, being our immediate target market, that our customers our products might be foreign, but we've taken measures to ensure that the products would not harm them or like cause them illness anyhow.
Great, thank you.
Well, I've got a question, and it's maybe partially because at the time when you went through that slide, the connection wasn't very clear on my side, and it is when you spoke about your competitors and the competitive advantage that you offer. Can you maybe elaborate a little bit more on that aspect? Why is Zabantu unique, and why would I not, as a producer of African fashion, sell on other platforms like an Amazon or an Alibaba, or why does it have to be a specific fashion platform? And then specifically around in the fashion space, those two competitors, how you differentiate yourself?
So most of our competitors do not have variety. When they sell anything that's from Africa, they sell that type of a thing. Mostly sell the African print apparels individually, separately. But what we are saying is that let us be the platform where you can find every high quality fashion apparel that is made in Africa, be it the Western kind of materials or the African print and other African creativity all in one platform. For example, if you go on Amazon and if you go on AliExpress, what you would find, the materials that you find that are made in Africa mostly is just African print. And we are saying there's a variety of what is made in Africa. There's different kinds of brands. Now you can find Batu on our platform. You can find, you know, your African Western trendy platforms also on our side. And the actual long-term goal of Zabantu is actually to end up being a platform altogether like AliExpress. But because of our current resources, we just decided to focus on one leg of it right now and make it fashion while we're still growing our brand and growing traction. So not now, but also in the long run, will be different in that when someone is overseas and they want to access any kind of goods of high quality that are made in Africa, we are going to be that platform where they can source this.
Okay, great, thank you.
Hi, Lebo.
Hi.
Yeah, so a quick question from my side. So it's with regards to marketing.
Okay.
Because I see you mostly targeting countries outside of South Africa. So how do you market yourself in those countries? And how do you study the market to ensure that you have a solid audience to market to people who can buy your products?
Okay, from our team, let me show you. From our team, we have an advisor. Let me see. Oh, I didn't put him. We have an international advisor called Stephanie. So Stephanie has experience in the global market. So what he has exposed us to are some people who actually understand those specific countries that we target, like in the UK or like the USA, who help us identify specific certain groups within that particular country and sort of like advise us how we shape our social media and our platform or any kind of campaigns that we make to specifically target those people. But we use social media, but anything that we'll be putting would be the advice that we get from Stephanie and the team that he's arranged for us in those different countries.
Okay. And also, do you, for the team, Stefan arranges for you guys, do you pay them or is it just on pro bono?
We don't pay them. We can't afford to pay them. It's on pro bono. It's one of those, he puts a weight for us, and I think they're part of his other external team. Like he's involved in too many other things.
Okay, thanks.
Quick one. Thanks a lot for the presentation. My quick question, I've looked around online. I've seen you've got a demo website. Currently, is your solution, is it live? You mentioned you've got Batu and other brands. Can I buy things today, or is it currently not possible?
Oh no, you can buy things today. The reason that we are using a demo website now is because due to costs, due to revenue like declining during Corona and not being able to afford other things, we had to opt for like a temporary solution while we try to find out ourselves back in our feet to be able to afford like our previous platform and stuff. So you can buy. So that demo website, sales can still be made through it.
Okay, I just tried and I couldn't purchase, so I was wondering.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to open it, or I'll check. So, but it should be able to work because it's not just a demo.
You can pop it later in a message, but yeah, I mean, I definitely understand who you're trying to target, and I fully agree. The African fashion industry needs to get lifted up more. So thanks a lot for your presentation.
It's a pleasure. Please do buy it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Lebogang. I think now we can move on to Shruti from Unite. You can start setting up.
If I could just ask Lebo to stop sharing her screen,
okay,
and then I can share mine. No problem.
There we go.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Okay, can I just get an indication that everybody can see my screen and hear me, Aaron?
Yeah, everything's perfect.
Okay. The top university in Africa is a breeding ground for innovation and entrepreneurship. Professor Pakeng herself once said that every student who graduates out of UCT should have an entrepreneurial mindset. A few months ago, I had an idea for an app that I wanted to make, but I quickly realized that as an accounting student, I don't have the knowledge to make an app. The reality is that sometimes we let a groundbreaking idea fall away purely because as students, we don't know where to start. As a commerce student, I realized that I don't know people in other faculties, so how can I recruit people for my startup team? And this brings us to the first problem. What if you have an idea, but no team members to execute? Okay, say you overcome the hurdle, you get a team, you get a prototype, but what now? Wait the whole year to pitch at Shark Tank? This brings us to our second problem, finding investors. Imagine if there was an app that listed all the angel investors in your area. And thus the idea of Unite CT was born. What if we created an app that would allow students to create a profile and list their skill set? Student entrepreneurs would then be able to search the skills that they need and unite with other students to form a team. When the team is ready for investors, they will have access to a list of local angel investors. You choose an idea, the idea chooses the team chooses an investor, and we'll unite the three. Working with me is Shavek Iyer, who is currently doing his honors in information systems. He handles the app development. Initially, sticking to a Cape Town target audience, we're looking at a target audience of 6,300 students from UCT and UWC combined. With regards to sustainability, we believe that as long as they are university students, they are students that need to be united. Our ultimate goal is to create an app that operates across our country. To engage with our target audience, we went to Instagram, where we asked 55 students to complete a survey. When questioned about pre-COVID interaction between faculties, 47% said that it was hardly ever or not at all. Now, imagine what we could achieve if we empowered that 47% with connectivity. Monetization. Student entrepreneurs pay a fee to be on the app as an entrepreneur, and investors who want their company to be listed also pay a fee. Now, I know what you're all thinking. Why not LinkedIn? You see, LinkedIn describes themselves as a social network for professional relationships, and students only join LinkedIn once they're graduated. Student entrepreneurs aren't looking for qualified students. They're looking for eager students who are passionate about their skill sets. LinkedIn targets new graduates, Unite CT targets any student with a skill set. All in all, ladies and gentlemen, by investing in Unite CT, not only are you investing in us, you're indirectly investing in every startup that we'll bring up on this platform. So invest today and help us to Unite CT. Thank you.
Hi, Shruti. Thank you so much for your presentation.
Hi.
It certainly does address a need that there is, and a big need. I would just like you to talk me through the sustainability, though, of the model. I have concerns and some reservations about its ability to stand the test of time. So can you please just talk me through the financial sustainability?
So with regards to the financial sustainability, we believe that initially we want to create an app for the students by the students. So initially, even if there's no revenue initially, we'd still like to get our app up and running. And as our app grows, we're going to introduce more revenue streams that I haven't mentioned, but we have quite a few revenue streams planned. So we're planning on updating our app with more versions as we get more revenue. So yeah, that's the sustainability side.
Thank you.
Are there any more questions from any of the judges?
I think Anton has a question.
Yeah, Shruti, from my side, well done. I really like your thinking.
Thank you.
Got one question around the costing. If I remember, I saw something. You want to charge the students a monthly subscription fee. Is that correct?
Yes,
And
but we're not looking. If I can just elaborate. So initially, we're going to start off with a very small fee because our primary goal is really just to connect people, revenue aside. With regards to charging a fee, we're definitely going to charge investors a fee to be on the app. But I think there's two aspects that I want to elaborate on with regards to charging the students. So we're going to charge the student entrepreneurs a fee to be on the app as an entrepreneur. But if you're just a student with a skill set, then you don't have to pay to be here. And I think that really makes it a lot more accessible because sometimes students just have a skill and no money to be on an app. So that's why we're only looking at charging the student entrepreneurs and the investors.
Yeah, I think I agree with you. It would be, you want to get as many subscribers as possible, and I think kind of like a freemium model would work better, where you offer at least a portion of the platform for free, and maybe for investors you can charge them. You're asking for somebody to support you with an investment. What exactly would you be asking for in terms of support, and where would you require support?
So in terms of support, I'm going to be honest, financially, I could go to a big company and ask them to make me the app by next week, but that's going to charge like 200,000, and that's not what we want. What we want to do is create an app for the students by the students, and that's why we're looking at making the app ourselves. So with regards to support, we wouldn't need much financially, but we're looking for a lot of mentorship and ideas to help us with our business plan, because we're just students and there's so much that we don't know. So we're really asking for mentorship and also a lot of legal advice.
Okay. Great, thank you.
Thank you. I think those are all for my questions. Aaron?
Okay.
Thank
you. Thank you, Shruti. Odo, I think you can start setting up from Novo Veridus. Yeah. Odo, are you available? Are you okay? There we go.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Adam Zetso, CEO of Novo Veridus. Novo Veridus is a Latin term for new green. So we are a company based from KwaZulu-Natal in Pietermaritzburg. So I've noticed a problem in our society is that a lot of consumers want to grow their own food produce, but then they don't have the necessary resources or good farming space or good soil to grow their own crops. So what happens is that they can't like expand and grow their own food produce. Luckily, our company focuses on aquaponics technology. What is aquaponics? Aquaponics is the growth of plants without the use of soil. So our company provides aquaponic units for consumers for them to grow their own food produce. We cannot replace all food produce that is grown from soil, but what can be grown in our systems can be lettuce, spinach, tomatoes, and peppers. So the benefit of our system is that it uses less water than food produce grown on traditional soil, grows twice as fast, and is of the same nutrients contents as the food produce that is grown on soil. So how does it work? The system contains of a fish tank, fish, water, and a plate to support the roots. So the fish excretion gets broken down into ammonia nitrate, which acts as a nutrient source for the roots and the food produce to go. And in return, the roots filtrates the water and it cleans it up. So the whole system is like a mini ecosystem, and in return, the food produce grows on top, as you can see on the screen. Our target market is primarily garden enthusiast households, people that want to grow their own food produce using our systems, as you can see on the screen. The cost of our units, out of the research that we've done, it will cost about 650 cost price with all the raw materials gathered in, and we'd offer a selling price of 750, giving out a profit of 100 Rand for every unit sold. We believe that Novo Veridus is at the leading forefront of sustainable developments and also food produce, which is a huge factor in South Africa, given a lot of people that are in hunger and poverty. Thank you very much for listening.
Thanks, Roodt. Thanks, Roodt, for the presentation. Roodt, you weren't very clear around who your team were and your competition. Could you elaborate a bit on that?
Okay, so what's happening right now is that I'm working with Ross Bennett. So Ross Bennett is doing a gap year, and I'm currently working with them at the moment. So competition-wise, there are some come-up companies in South Africa that have aquaponic farms, but they're focusing on having and selling aquaponic products using a farm. But our target market is consumers, but by offering our small units. So we're not planning on having an aquaponic farm, but what we're doing is we're just providing consumers with our aquaponic units, so it can be placed anywhere in your house, backyard, for you to grow your own units.
Perfect. I'd suggest taking a look at a company called African Grower. I'm aware that they've been in the market for a while, and they offer a similar solution to yours.
Yes. Yes, I'll look into it. Thank you.
If there aren't any more questions from the chat,
I've got a question. I'm not quite sure about the stage. Where you at? Have you developed a prototype? Are you or where are you in terms of a life cycle of your business? Is it at the moment just conceptually? It's an idea, or have you already developed a working prototype? Are you?
Okay. Thank you very much for the question. So as you can see on the screen right now, here is a prototype that I developed with my business partner last year. And we were in a competition called SAGE. It was a teenage entrepreneurship competition, and we won it, and we went to represent South Africa in the United States for the Sage World Cup. So this is a prototype that we designed, and it was the spinach that was growing. It works perfectly fine. And yeah, obviously this is just a prototype, but then obviously once we go into commercialing and selling to the households, it's going to be a bit bigger, designed perfectly for the consumer. So we are still in idea phase. So we're planning on going into execution. That's why I'm here, to get the funding from the Sharks. Thank you for your question.
Okay, I think those are all the questions for Odwa. Thank you very much, Odwa, for your page. Naveen from Fairbru, I think you can start setting up your screen.
Yep, thank you. Yeah. Last pitch. Hope everyone's coffee just kicked in. Can everyone see my screen and hear me?
Yes, we can.
Thank you. I'll start just now. Good morning. I'm Navin Sitanan of Fairbru Coffee, and we want to end coffee farm exploitation. Fairbru will make selling, buying, and drinking ethical coffee a standard practice. The South African specialty coffee market is valued at 8.2 billion rand. The fair trade coffee market is valued at 154 million rand. That is our total addressable market. Fair trade, although good in principle, is not the best we can do. Researchers at the University of London found that farmers under the fair trade model fail to earn a living income. Farm gate pricing, verified by blockchain technology, is far better than fair trade. Fairbru will verify, source, and sell coffee from roasters that practice ethical sourcing and sustainable farmer relationships to consumers and businesses. It's a two-sided coffee marketplace that will build its reputation and attract sellers and buyers via an educational platform. There is a growing willingness to pay ethical prices, but locally there is a lack of transparency and information. With Fairbru, customers will know what coffee they're buying and why. To achieve a 5% market penetration, we need 50,000 Rand as follows. That should give us a 3-month runway to platform launch in November. We will first create awareness through the educational content, then we will start direct sales. The first and only fully transparent coffee shop in South Africa is already on board, and I have closed a deal worth 48,000 Rand for Beethoven Coffee in Gauteng. Besides my finance background, I write and do social media marketing for Food Blog South Africa. Our tech expert, Nick, is in charge of our product and software development. Our design genius, Elkin, is our creative director, and winning this competition will give us the administrative and legal mentorship we need from the sponsors. Online competitors in South Africa fail to champion ethical coffee and educate the consumer. Fairbru will do this, and we have the edge through our coffee brew algorithm. It will fuel our hospitality industry consulting and grow our subscription and sales by making personalized recommendations, all with automated resupplies. Sharks, let's brew some change together. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Hi, Niven. Thanks so much. Sumarie here. Great presentation. I must say, I haven't had a good cup of coffee at this morning, so you've now made me think about it more than I should. I just wanted to check something with you. Talk to me about the scalability of this business.
At first, our aim is to work up the coffee supply chain, and we intend to scale globally in 2 steps. So first is to apply the business model of a two-sided marketplace that only sells ethical coffee. And secondly is to be a green bean supplier at every origin in Africa, especially for African farmers. And from there, we will sell 100% transparent and ethical coffee to all coffee roasters in the world.
Okay, thank you.
Nuven, thank you very much. How do you that the coffee farmers are producing the coffee in an ethical manner?
So we had a productive meeting with a startup in Colombia called iFinca, and they use blockchain technology to make the whole supply chain completely transparent. So at every step, you scan a QR code. They haven't implemented yet in Africa, that's where we want to partner with them and boost their implementation on the continent, as Fairbru wants to focus on African farmers who have been let out compared to Central and South America who get American funding.
Niven, thanks for your presentation. I'm interested, what do you think the size of your market is, and like, where do you think this can go? There's a lot of people in the coffee industry, so do you think people are going to pay more for ethical coffee than just a normal cup of coffee?
So yeah, the coffee industry is huge, and so coffee can be broken down in three waves. The first wave was post-World War, where we got instant coffee on an industrial scale. The second wave was with Starbucks. And the third wave are the small specialty coffee shops that you see around in Cape Town and Joburg. And we intend to start to be leaders in the fourth wave, where transparency and ethical sourcing is the most important thing. It's a trend that started already in America, is hugely popular in Scandinavian countries, and it's the future of the coffee industry, like 100% transparent supplying and sourcing. Our market estimate for this first step is based off a research done in Gauteng last year. And we estimate the fair trade, people who drink coffee because it's sustainable, from the research says that it's 3% of the market, valued at 154 million rand. But we aim to target everyone that consumes high quality coffee, that is specialty coffee.
Thank you.
I think if that's the end of the judges' questions, I will hand over to Babatso to tell us a little bit more about the prizes and introduce our closing speaker.
Okay, thank you to all the contestants. That was super, super great. But firstly, I would like to thank our sponsors and partners for their ongoing support and participation in Shark Tank. So to speak about the prizes, thank you to Iridium's Business Solutions for the Business in a Box, valued at 45,000 Rand. 01 Creations for their marketing and branding package, valued at 5,000 Rand. O'Reilly Law for their startup legal package, valued at 12,000 Rand. Impumelelo Institute for their Grand Masters of Success program, valued at 12,000 Rand. And finally, Acro Capital for their invaluable mentorship and guidance. So to introduce our second keynote speaker, Anton Baumann. Anton Baumann is a qualified lawyer and currently the executive director at Empowerment Capital Investment Partners. He is an expert in matters relating to transformation and BEE ownership. He has in-depth understanding of the challenges South African multinational companies face in South Africa regarding transformation and BEE compliance. He was a managing director at the National Empowerment Rating Agency for a period of 4 years, and thereafter moved to be a partner at Transcend Capital. He served as a finance director at the Association of BEE Professionals, where he represented the entire BEE verification industry to the Department of Trade and Industry.
So thank you for the introduction. So from my side, it's an absolute honor to be here. It's the first time that I participate as a judge in an event like this, and I want to thank all the entrepreneurs for your great presentations. I know what it takes to stand up there and go and well, explain your vision and what you stand for to a larger audience. I'm as you know from the introduction from Pavatsu now, I'm by no means an expert on venture capital. It just so happened that as part of living up to my vision and the difference that I wanted to make, it involved setting up a venture capital. If anything, then I really see myself as an entrepreneur in my own right. And so all I can offer you really is some general thoughts. So for me, what entrepreneurship is really, it's a mindset, and it's the mindset of taking an unbeaten track, and the unbeaten track is always the hard route. The majority will not go the hard way. The majority will take probably the easier way, but as an entrepreneur, we decide to walk the unbeaten track, and that means that we decide to see things differently, to see an opportunity where others see a threat, without exploiting a situation. Professor Roodt, in her opening statement, mentioned the term of tenderpreneurship in South Africa, and especially in recent times now, with the emergence of this global pandemic, we've seen this really take probably its most ugly form, where so-called entrepreneurs made millions with selling personal protective equipment, etc. This is not seeing things differently. This is not taking the unbeaten track and seeing an opportunity where others see a threat. This is really a sad way of people exploiting an unfortunate situation. Taking the unbeaten track, walking the hard way, is it's a much more liberating thought. It's a lot easier. It's easier said than done. But it is a liberating thought when you acknowledge that walking this road is not about winning. It's not about achieving one certain goal and then we're clear, we're done, we've achieved everything and that's it. But it is the acknowledgement that actually the way, the journey becomes the goal. And it's the submission of oneself to ultimately to a constant pursuit of mastery, and with that comes a lot of pain, a lot of hardship. But if we just make that part of our life, and then I believe that is really what entrepreneurship is all about. Last weekend, I watched a great movie called The Dawn Wall. It's about two climbers finding a new route up the El Capitan vertical wall in the Yosemite Park in the US. It's a 1 kilometer vertical wall, and there's a few routes that are well established. And these two climbers, Tommy Gladwell and Kevin Jorgensen, they developed a new unbeaten route, or unwalked or unclimbed to that point, unclimbed route up that vertical wall. It took them 6 years. For 6 years, these two guys were mapping out this wall, and this was their way of pursuing mastery. And it was not about winning for them. It was not about getting from the top to the bottom. It was really the pursuit of mastery. In the end, they achieved it after 6 years. They spent close to 3 weeks in the wall. Yeah, so that is really this, in my view, this entrepreneur mindset. It's about seeing that mastery is not something that is ultimately achieved, but that is pursued, and that we constantly submit ourselves to that pursuit of mastery. Like this participation for you in this Shark Tank event, I don't think it is, obviously there will be a winner announced later on, but it's not about winning. It is about participation in this journey. And once you participated, you come out of this event, there will be other milestones that you achieve, and the goalpost will constantly shift. And with that comes a second aspect to entrepreneurship, and that is resilience. When you believe that you have something unique to offer to the world, something that makes a difference, then by the very definition of that uniqueness, you will have to convince the majority who's done something else all their lives along, that your way, your solution is worth pursuing, is worth supporting. And unfortunately, the way the world works is that all you will get on this journey is a lot of no's and a lot of pushbacks. When I look back at what we've done with Empowerment Capital, my business partner Mark and myself, we still to date, 5 years later, after the establishment of Empowerment Capital, believe in the absolute uniqueness of our solution and our approach to enterprise and supply development. In the first year, in the first 18 months of our existence, we just made a list of the top 400 JSE-listed corporates in South Africa, and we knocked on the doors, and all we got was no's. Yes, after a hard journey, we got a few clients to sign up with us, but we had to take we had to receive a lot of no's and never take a no for an answer. So that's the two sides of the same coin, of this journey that you're on as entrepreneurs, and that is the ability to see things different, and that is coupled with a lot of resilience, and I wish you all the best on that endeavor.
Thank you so much, Anton. I'm going to hand over to Janine now to say a final few words.
Thank you, everyone. Really, I'm so humbled, and I feel so privileged to be a part of this. You know, we're only seeing 8 out of how many others have pitched and applied for this program. But I think you've done your university proud. So well done to all the participants and the finalists. Yeah, I really want to say a big thanks to Joel van der Schyff, who's on this call, being very quiet, and Alan Fock. Joel van der Schyff actually helped everybody with their pitches and putting their pitches together, and I really think you've done a great job. Thank you, Joel. There he is waving. And honestly, none of this can be done without people like Joel and Alan, who do this behind the scenes. There's no giveaway or anything from their companies. It's just them giving of their own time. And I think that's what all of the participants and applicants must know, is that we're all here to help you. And, you know, as your journey goes on, I've no doubt that you'll be helping people down the line. And really that's, you know, that's what we, you know, we're a kind of like a brotherhood, or should I say it because I'm a woman, a sisterhood. So yeah, so well done to all of you for coming in, and a big thanks to Joel and Alan. Valashni Singh, who's also given her time for personal one-on-one coaching. Obviously, huge thanks to Aaron from Entrepreneur Society UCT, and Pabatso Tatis from the UCT and Investment Society. They've honestly just been at it the whole time behind the scenes. Well done, people. If I can just make a plea to the applicants, please, you know, make sure you put some positive review on any of your social media about this. As I said to you right at the beginning of this journey, it's about putting a spotlight on yourselves and others, and you want the people coming up next year, and some of you are still first, second, third year students, you might still be around next year, you know, come again. Let's show what UCT has to offer. Yeah, so Pabatso and Aaron, well done again. A big thanks to Dr. Roodt and Anton Baumann for the opening speech and the closing speech. You've definitely both given some insight. And of course, where would this be without the judges and the prizes? O'Reilly Law, I think Catherine is here representing O'Reilly Law. And, you know, Pabatso has gone through Iridium Business Solutions, of which Peter's one of the partners. 01 Creations, we've had the Judge Brian Mlambo from 01. And Umpumelelo Institute, which are giving the founder development program. And we've got Kaylee on from there as well. So thank you again. From my side, I just want to just keep showing up for your business. And to reiterate something that Anton said about this is not about winning or one goal. This is a journey of entrepreneurship. So that's it from me. If Aaron or Pabatso wants to come on and just talk about the final prizes. And thank you again, everyone.
Thank you, Janine. I think Pabatso has already mentioned the final prizes. So I think what we'll do now is I just want to congratulate all the contestants once again and thank you for your preparation and dedication to the environment we live in and prepping during this pandemic. I know it's difficult to be online and the challenges that come with it. So thank you guys again. And I think for now, you guys can leave the Zoom meeting and then the judges can stay behind for a quick discussion. And then later on in the day, we will then post the top 3 and the winner of the competition and then get in touch with everyone and take it from there.
Super, thank you. Thanks, Aaron. Thanks again, everyone. Thank you. So we'll put it up on our website as well, on LinkedIn. Yeah, cool.